Hi, I wanted to speak to when to choose an EMDR intensive and why EMDR, why in the intensive format. So there's multiple moments when an intensive format might feel like the best approach for your life. And two of those are something terrible just happened and you feel completely rattled, unable to tend to the day to day life responsibilities. And life isn't, the circumstances of life don't really let you push pause for the grief, for the sorrow, for the shock, for everything that came with what the hell just happened in my life, right? So, an intensive is this sort of container where we can work for half a day up to 5 days, depending on what happened and the severity of it, how much it's impacting you, and how much it brought up from your past, too, right? Is this just one event, or is this one event triggering and calling up the reaction as if you were living in the tragedies of the last 3, 4, 5 decades? And then the other one is maybe right now feels easeful in life, or maybe it's just more of the like, oh, I can't catch a breath. I just tend to be somebody that the next shoe drops all the time. And with that, there's sort of this identity piece of I don't know who I am when I'm at my homeostasis, when I have life in balance. I've lived my whole life in survival. And that one is called more of an identity clearing intensive. So, why EMDR? Why in this format? And the answer to that also is different for the two situations. Over here, if we're working with one event, EMDR is going to get us in and out of that event so that you're back to living like your adult self at the age that you are today, with all of your problem solving capacity and kind of feeling that resilience coming back of I can handle when I accidentally drop a mug and it shatters. I can handle when I'm 3 minutes late for my appointment and it's disappointing that person. Um, or it adds a little bit more stress that they're late to their next thing, right? That resilience of I can handle when life doesn't go perfect. We want to get you back to that. If the one thing brought up a history of things, then that's going to require more time. So the one thing might be one, maybe 2 days. If the one thing brought up many things, I often use a metaphor of the spider web hedge. You know, when you look at like a tree or a bush and it's just filled with cobwebs, or sort of that Halloween cobweb decoration, that it's really hard to find the center point of all of those spider webs in there. Maybe there's 200. With EMDR, we do not need to actually work with 200 center moments of your life that were devastating. We can acknowledge there are so many, and then we'll work with there's this bunch over here that's telling you da 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 about your life. And there's this bunch over here that has you stuck in this. I can't ever catch it. It's scary to breathe or it's uncomfortable to exhale, right? We'll work with this little bunch over here that tells you to always anticipate that something bad's going to happen and tries to take care of you in that way. Um, and then there's just all of these different bunches and parts of the webs that have common messages for you, common survival strategies, right? Avoidance, deflecting, choosing to drink instead of feeling the awkwardness around social engagements, withdrawing and choosing not to be in environments, situations around the people that shared that scary thing with you. So many different things we do when tragedy is stuck in our bones and our muscles and in all of all of the layers of our body, our physiology. Um, and yeah, so while one incident takes 1 or 2 days, if there's that history, we're not going to get into every single one, but we're going to work with the memories that are entangled and entrapped that kind of are the umbrella or the sealant around this collection of memories that tell you something about you or how you are safe, dangerous, at danger in the world. Um, and we'll work with that collection. And that can move us to 3 to 5 days. Over here with the identity clearing, it's similar to that second set I just shared about, where we're probably working 3 to 5 days. And when we're scheduling an intensive, we'll have our consultation call. We'll chat about what you think you're bringing into the EMDR intensive and what you want to get out of it. In that, we'll kind of put an estimate of how much time that'll take. And that'll also be dependent on, do you have a counselor, a therapist that you're going back to who is a depth therapist that's ready to continue the trauma healing? And it's okay if something is still a little tender after this. If you do, then we don't necessarily have to like wrap everything up and put it away properly, exactly, precisely, right? Um, so if you're feeling like, wow, we made huge progress, and I know we booked for 3, but you're 2.5 days in, and before lunch, you're like, I think this is a good place. My nervous system, like I can feel like I can breathe. And I feel like if we kept going, it might be too much. Then we'll stop at 2.5 and you'll pay for 2.5. If we book for 3 and we start after lunch, then you'll still pay for 3 and we will go as far into that second half of the day as continues to be helpful and your nervous system and everything in you is saying, yes, we're good. With the idea of an EMDR intensive, when we're getting past the 1 day, and even in a 1 day, we're not sticking specifically to EMDR necessarily. We are taking care of you. And oftentimes, especially when we're going for more days in a row, this is going to be bringing in a lot of somatic therapy and parts work. Parts work is the compassion piece, particularly. So oh gosh, this thing just happened. And even though I'm in my 30s, 40s, 50s, however old you are, all of a sudden it feels like that thing that happened to you way back when you were 12, 4, right? And parts work is that piece of like, oh my gosh, this response I'm having right now makes so much sense for back then. And building that compassion and being able to look back at it as your adult self who is safe in the space of our therapy in the moment with all of the resources that we provide through comforts in the room and imagery of relationships and places and containers and different things that we'll get into. But it makes so much sense that she responded way back then, or he responded way back then. And the response then is hurting me now, right? So parts work lets that conversation happen inside, meeting the needs, the genuine needs, and attuning and validating the feelings of the reaction to nurture you back into being an adult running your life, being flexible with life as it comes, that resilience piece again. The somatic therapy is acknowledging that when we go through hard things, our body goes to that fight, flight, freeze, faint space. And fawn is also talked about here too. Um, and the somatic is working with the nervous system. Dare is working with the attachment system with a somatic understanding foundation. And so we're tuning and bringing in all of the comforts, all of the support that you are needing in your relational self, in the woundings, as well as in the I can't, this doesn't make sense, right? I'm really slow up here. I can't see anything. I can't make sense of everything. But inside of me, it just feels like I ran a marathon and I can't stop running, right? The somatic piece finds the release to move through, find if we need to know the story of what you're running away from or what you feel like you're fighting, we'll allow that to complete. And we can meet that with the attachment support as well. Peter Levine's story that he wrote a book about is letting the client run away from the tiger, climb up the wall and get away into safety, even though there was no tiger actually chasing this client, right? Sometimes we feel like life is literally ending in this moment, even though we just lost our job and we have a savings account and we have skills that will get us a new job. Or this person just broke up with us and they actually weren't a perfect fit, but we've spent so much of our lives together that it feels like I don't know who I am without them. There are so many things that happen in like normal life. And then there are also tragedies beyond that, the unexpected, right? Losing a child or being in a location that ends up being targeted for something terrible. Um, Signing up for the military during a non-war time and then ending up in a violent situation. There are these things that we can't expect that do happen to us, and our nervous system gets hijacked, scared, and appropriately responds in the moment. The somatic work is recognizing that moment is over. And how do we come back to that moment's over? I'm living my life today on this day of the week, this year, at this age. And these are my life circumstances, and I'm doing okay. So in the intensive, we're mapping out how you're reacting in these different systems in your body, the appropriateness for your present life circumstances, and healing the reactivity to the things that have happened while strengthening the sense of I know who I am and I know how I operate in the world when I am my truest, most genuine. This is me. Diane Poole Heller, the teacher of Dare, says to find like the gems that are the you of you. So the Melanie of Melanie, right? I know that when I am in my second yoga class in a row, very specific combination of yoga, and then I connect with the teacher or a classmate after, and I'm holding a warm cup of tea, and I drink that while I'm socializing, and then I take my 5 block walk overlooking the La Jolla Cove, and I start just getting mesmerized by the sound of the waves crashing and the sound of the sea lions while watching the birds go by. And if I just lose myself in time for a moment, wow, that is the most spiritual moments for me, right? I am this speck of life amongst all of these living creatures, humans, animals, and all of the land that supports us, all of the air that supports us, and everything beyond that. And yet my life is significant too. And I want to help, I want to support, I want to create space for you to build those moments of appreciation and awe in your own life, that it feels like there's almost this bubbling and warming in you, that you're coming back to life and not in this, I have to be prepared kind of way. So I imagine as you've been listening and watching this, there's been some things turning in you. So feel free to give this a moment. Maybe that moment is minutes, hours, maybe it's days. And if, as you kind of sit with the information I've shared here, if this approach of multiple days versus taking weeks and months to work through something painful feels like the proper move for you, that this kind of feeling of I need to get back to my life fast, but I don't want to do it with avoidance. I want to do it with really intentional, deep work and come out of it breathing better. Then I want to be there with you, right? I want to create life-changing results for you in days when you don't have months or years to give it. And I understand truly that does happen where we do not have months or years of budgeting. And budgeting isn't just our finances, but it's also our energy and how we're using our time. And sometimes it's you have kids at home and you don't want to let more months, years pass of these formidable years of connection, of influence. You don't want this nervous system impacting them as you are now at the ages that they are now, right? So we can literally put a halt to that, taking you out of the situation momentarily. I know intensives also provide space for if you're local, amazing, but also if you're not, or if you are, maybe you choose to car camp or tent camp at one of the beaches nearby. Um, Carlsbad South Beach has a state park parking lot with camping options. Or maybe you get an Airbnb or a hotel, or you stay at one of the kind of more resort spaces that are local. And you're able to disconnect from technology and media and all of the things that your nervous system spike it, right? And removing yourself from all of the responsibility that says, I have to show up, I have to take care of, I have to push this down and be okay. And that's right. And in that, taking a long weekend, the longest would be a Friday through Saturday or Friday through Tuesday, taking Saturday off for that self-care day, letting the everything kind of and then coming back to Sunday, and we would jump back in with, okay, what's landing? Are you finding any blocks points? And we return to that work intentionally. Or if there's nothing popping up, then we keep grooving with what we've set as our plan. Um, and if it's a shorter thing, then it might be like a Sunday through a Tuesday. I just take Saturdays off as my personal day. So much information here. Sit with it. If you need to re-listen, do re-listen. If you want to call and you have questions of, hey, this is coming up, you said it this way, but also you said there's attunement and flexibility, and we're mapping out my nervous system and my attachment system. So I'm wondering if it could be like this. I welcome that conversation. We want this to be catered to your systems and what you need for a sense of safety. That is our priority. So please do reach out and we will schedule a call. And if we need more time than just a call, if we'll do this on Zoom, right? So having that first call, if you want the 20-minute phone call to kind of break in the voice. And if being on screen feels too much, too fast, then we'll stick with the phone call. And if the 20 minutes on a Zoom feels better, then we'll start here. And if it needs more than 20 minutes, it needs more than 20 minutes. But that'll be our initial plan. It'll give us a sense for, is this something you want to move forward with? Is this the right fit? Maybe EMDR intensives are, but maybe I'm not. Maybe EMDR intensives are, but not with somebody who wants to bring in parts and somatic. Or maybe you really want EMDR intensives that are fully somatic experiencing supported, and I lean more there. There are so many possibilities here. And it's okay, whatever it is that you choose. It's such an important choice that you're making to take care of you in a way that aligns. So I welcome your contact. I welcome you to reach out. And I look forward to connecting with you. And if I never hear from you, that's okay too. I might not know your name, but I will be hoping that you land in a space that supports your growth and you are coming back to vitality, resilience, and groundedness in your own day to day. Peace be with you.